Guys, Maya Rudolph's on the show today, who we love. Dana's munching. I got to go to Hawaii with Maya when her daughter Pearl was just squirted out. Literally, I cut the cord on the plane. And then we had fun there. And then I saw them. She and PTA were there during Wrong Missy at the beginning. They were just there in Hawaii, so we got to see them. But she's always obviously a super talent. And now I have a story for you, Dana, before you talk.
I'm just thinking about the umbilical cord.
Yeah.
Because I cut the umbilical cord.
Of her?
No, of my own wife, dummy.
Oh, and how'd it go?
Well, they give you gloves that are the exact same color of the umbilical cord. So my 2 fingers are down there, and I've got scissors. And it's like 3 umbilical cords.
3 little hot dogs.
Literally 3 umbilical cords. I'm like, when I went in, I didn't know if I was going to get it on my finger.
Yeah, and then you get the bill. You go, hey, you didn't knock off anything for my work.
So, newsflash, how about bright red gloves for the guy cutting the umbilical cord so he can
What color is an umbilical cord? The audience wants to know.
Oh, I don't know. We'll let Maya answer. We talk about that.
Oh, yeah. We get into that. Also, I want to tell Dana that, when you're on SNL, we didn't get to this with Maya, but, Lauren sometimes will call you out of the blue. Now I'm lower on the totem pole than this guy. I was more of a journeyman. But Lauren calls me out of the blue, maybe 2-3 years in. They go, Lauren's calling. I go, I'm back in LA. I go, yeah? Hello? And he goes, David, Lauren. Yes, the girl told me. And then he goes, David, Mick Jagger is doing something for something, and he has to give like a little monologue speech. Do you think you'd have any ideas? Or I think you'd be someone that knows music. You could throw in some stuff. And I go, I don't know. When's he doing it? And what is it? And then I hear, hello? He puts Mick on.
Oh.
And I go, oh, hello?
Oh,
and he goes, hello?
Jokes.
Yeah, he goes, oh, I need some fucking rib ticklers.
Oh, I need a pun or something. A nice joke for me.
Don't give me your fucking regular dog shit I seen in your act.
Yeah.
Give me the good stuff. Top shelf. So I sat there and tried to pitch some fucking bullshit.
Don't hog the jokes for yourself. Give it to me or Mick Jagger.
Maybe put a little wiggle in it. It fold. He goes, I can wiggle. I go, oh, you should do the TikTok
I
dance.
got hips that can move and sway side to side. I'm not doing Mick Jagger at all. I'm not even close to Mick Jagger.
But it was just to say that we were talking earlier about that. Like, it's sort of interesting that, first of all, Lauren has all these big deal friends. And then when you get pulled into the mix, suddenly I'm on the phone. He just puts them on. You talk. And then Mix almost nervous pitching me ideas, because to anyone else, to a comedian, he doesn't really know what level I am. He just heard I was a writer. He goes, he might write some good jokes. So he's kind of going, what about this? What about this? And I'm saying this. Anyway, he won't remember. So don't ask him, because he'll deny it. But, and because it didn't happen. But, Maya Rudolph is
I was going to tell my... Dana, hold for Keith Richards.
Really?
He's going to do the monologue.
Oh, he's got the other guy.
Hi, Keith. I don't even know if I have anything. That's all right, bloke. It doesn't really matter. So that's my...
And then Lauren, then it got worse over the years. Hold for Hanson. You think we should go with Mbop or Bleep Blop?
Hey, Dana, it's Kelsey Grammer. If you can't do an impression, young people, just say the name of the person you're doing.
Hold for Urkel.
This is Mick Jagger.
Yeah. Hold for Urkel.
Hold for Urkel?
Yeah.
Why, my name's Urkel.
That's Urkel.
Well, I'm Urkel.
Oh, he's got suspenders.
We have suspenders.
I'm the good shit.
I am officially
Urkel
getting
pop.
punchy. I apologize to
we've
our
been here
listeners.
For 14 hours doing these. Anyway, Maya Rudolph, we love her.
She sings, she dances, she does all these great characters.
She's doing her show right now called Go.
Loot.
2 billboards on Sunset, and we get into that.
Everyone Loves Maya is a show that I'm going to pitch to her.
All the women I know in my life love Maya.
She's like someone who you would, it's like someone if you sat down for lunch, you would be like really, really happy.
Exactly.
That was Lauren talking about Maya.
Amy,
she's just
Tina, that little squadron is a hit. So,
and she will. One thing I stood out for me is just talking about doesn't have time for fools or jerks or angry people.
Oh, that's right.
Wants to enjoy her work. So anyway, it's a very, very cool interview. We really enjoyed hanging out with her.
Here she is.
Did you hear the lightning? Did you hear the lightning?
What lightning?
Oh, we had a lot of lightning with power outages, all kinds of stuff.
Are you in LA?
I'm in LA. Dude. Yeah, I'm in David's
There's
place.
Lightning?
Lightning in LA. Yeah, West Hollywood, just everything went out.
What the hell?
Yeah. This goes out to the world. So my address is, if you'd like, it's at the corner of, it's usually unlocked. Maya Rudolph is our guest today.
I'm in New York, Spady.
What's going on there? Why do you have to be there?
Well, I come here for the fun, I come here for the fun.
Well, you're never not working, so what would you be working on?
Nice one. I came to do Fallon and
what did you do?
That's Fallon.
That's and I did it for Jimmy, and he loves it.
My Apple show Loot is coming out on Friday, so I'm promoting it this week.
Oh, that's
LOOT on Apple. You do a lot of shows. I like all your shows. You're with Fred. You're with friends. You're at camp. You're by the lake with all the ladies, and now who's in Loot with you?
Yeah, Loot she gets $82 billion.
87.
$87 billion. And then she finds out she's in charge of a charity that she wasn't quite aware of, a foundation.
Mm-hmm. Spade makes it seem like he was very good at his book reports. I'm watching.
This is my book report struggling through in front of the class.
Yes.
Then you're married. These aren't spoilers. They're in the trailer. Your husband cheats on you and you get money, but you don't really know what to do with your life because you sort of live I
like it.
It's the reverse Meg Markle story. Is what it is.
I'm playing Meg Markle.
Yeah. So then you're trying to help the world and also help yourself.
Spade, that was lovely. Thank you so much for sharing with the class.
That was great.
What did I get, a B?
You got an A for effort.
But I see Loot billboards and I go, oh, there's Maya, of course. 1 millionth thing she does because she's just the most in-demand actress.
We're going to call you the busiest actress
She
in
really
Hollywood.
is. And you know why? Because she adds to everything. So if you throw her in, no matter what, the lead, any part, she scores. And it's just more about her picking and deciding.
She seems to be very good at whatever she does. I'm just going to observe that. You can disagree, but
I agree.
You seem to be excellent.
No, Dana, I just want to hear you. That's really nice to hear you say. I know Spade loves me, but Dana, you already know I love you, so it's very exciting to hear you say that.
Every interaction I've had with you has been positive over the years at SNL, at Largo. You're just cool. I don't know.
But you know what? You actually, I know it sounds like kind of trivial, but that's actually a very big element for me. Is like, if it's not positive, I'm not interested.
Yes. I think during the Great Reset and after the pandemic, I'm not into negativity. I just want positivity. I think it's a cultural shift.
That, like, I noticed that I was the dork that, like, when people would say, like, who's your favorite host on SNL? Like, who's your favorite? I would always say, like, I was such a sucker. I was like, well, so-and-so was really nice. Like, if someone was really nice, I'd like them. Like, I didn't care really if they were funny, but like if they weren't difficult or, if they were like a kind person, I was like, you know what? They were really great. I really enjoyed that.
I think I hosted, it was Jimmy's fourth show. Did you come in with Jimmy Fallon or you were earlier?
I came in after Jimmy. You hosted once when I was there, though.
Yeah. And I remember hanging out with you in the bleachers in 8H, and you just turned to me and you said, "You're nice. You're really nice." Like you're kind of, something like that.
See, I told you, it's a real comedy turn on for me. I really like it. I don't like when people are mean or snarky. It's not enjoyable for me. It makes my butthole tight in a bad way.
Yeah, I have the same
when
experience.
you do work as much as we all do different things. I think we've all been in a situation where you're on a show or you're somewhere where you're kind of stuck, like a movie or a show, and you know it's going to be days and you realize, because you never meet anyone really until maybe a read through or on the set. And if you get a weird vibe, you're like, oh my God, is this shit going to be like this the whole time? I'll be on eggshells.
Yeah.
So you try to work with people, and people go, why do you do movies with people you know? Or it's just such a simple answer, because you know what you're getting, you know they're already cool, or you wouldn't do it again.
And I also feel like I'm not as funny on my own because I'm sketch lady. I'm not a stand-up. So I prefer a team sport, and I feel funnier when I'm with people that make me laugh. So I feed off of that energy. So I need to be like genuinely enjoying myself, or it's a real downer for me. I
totally agree.
Yeah.
I'm completely with you. And I feel like I was a sketch player organically, but I became a stand-up. There wasn't any improv troops in San Francisco at the time that I would join. But with David or you or anyone, it gets you going. And I think that joyfulness maybe is underrated. And, there's certain camps that, like, if it's frustrating or people are angry, it's going to be a better project. But I just think joy wins.
Yeah, I don't want to be like, Mickey Rourke and what's her name?
9.5 weeks?
Making 9.5 weeks. Like, didn't
Carrie Otis or somebody? Or Kim Basinger?
Didn't he like eat a raw onion before he kissed Kim Basinger? Like me, like I heard crazy.
That's my trick.
That's how you lure him in.
I share a raw onion with my wife after lovey-dovey time, and that's just a picadillo that we have.
What about Maya? Have you ever been in the situation where? Well, you're two things. You're from, I think, Groundlings, and when you're from that collaborative fun, and you get to SNL, I think people we've talked to, because Dana and I are dopey stand-ups, but it's less of a harsh transition than it was for us, because it doesn't mean we're not collaborative. It just, that's not what we're doing every second.
Absolutely.
And you guys get there and it's a little smoother.
Well, it's a little mini SNL, right?
Yeah,
in a way.
For sure.
And then you bring your sketches fully formed to the show. I assume in the early days of the show.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to bring Groundling sketches there early on, and that led with a resounding thud at the table. But what I learned is that, like, it's you have to write for the room. So like once I learned how to take those pieces, like if there was a character that I really liked or a premise that I really liked, and make them work for that room, because every room is different. So
are you saying the read-through room or 8H?
I guess both.
Yeah.
But you're making a good point that I hadn't thought about.
Well, you have to get past that read-through room, which is pretty wicked.
Like I never wrote to just write for the table so that I'd get it in. Like I guess it was for both, but like you have to be laughing at the table or else it doesn't.
Yeah, you try to write for people at home, but that's not the politics of it. And that is the first time someone said Dana had a good point. By the way, just on the side note.
That was very, very nice of you. I think also, which we've talked about, but it's very interesting to me, is that you don't want to be too theatrical in the read-through room. It can come off like a turnoff or kind of sweaty, but sometimes you have to get up and sing a song or move around to show the room. But everyone's from Harvard and Yale, kind of. Everyone is like super smart, and they can see you're pushing too hard. There's a whole energy to that. And then 8H is its own monster or beautiful place, depending on how you're doing.
Wait, Maya, do you think... Go ahead. You go, Maya.
Wait, go ahead. No, go ahead. Mine was more of a large question.
I like big questions.
People like when we don't let the guests talk. When my question was, if you have a Groundling sketch and people are aware of it, is there sort of a stink on it where they're against it a little bit when you bring it in, or do you just like when they brought in? There's sketches that were read when I was there where I didn't know, and it almost gets more of a fair shot if they don't know anything.
I would say probably. I think it depends. I mean, I'm trying to unlock my memory capabilities of 20 fucking years ago. So I'm like, I don't know. But
70 for me and Dana.
That's the most honest answer we've ever had on the podcast.
That was the thing I was just going to say, just in general, is like just an excited acknowledgement of like, it's, I mean, I've talked to you guys about SNL before. It's kind of all I ever want to talk about with people that know it well. I find it the most continuously fascinating topic, but it's so interesting to me to talk to other people that were there at a different time, because we're of the same fraternity, sorority, college, university, whatever it is for everybody, but we were there at different times. So we were there in different eras. So like Dana, I might have told you this, but I think I found one of your sketches in my old desk in my office.
Wow.
And I think it was on a yellow legal pad. I'm not kidding.
That would be normal. Yeah, but I wonder how you got a hold of it, unless I cleared out. Maybe you were in my office.
I got an old desk that I.
Okay. And it was in there?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And I think I saved it. I'm saving it for like Sotheby's or something.
That's interesting.
Oh, it's so interesting. I mean, the history is so interesting to me because it was such a like exciting place to get to. And then once I got there, all the people that I loved already had like touched it. So it was so exciting. And like, I mean, when I got there, we were all using those, they were still using Mac SE30s, those like, I think it's like the computer people were using when I was in college. But like, that was when we had a server, but like, you weren't using a server when you were there.
Oh, no. It was all pencil and paper, and then you'd hand it in. Someone else would type it.
We had those Mad Men girls. There was 4 girls in the room. Honestly, just typing. And you'd put your sketch in the pile, and they'd write their name on the top so you know who typed it. And you go to Claire and say, Claire, did you do this? Can you even understand my writing? And they sort of understood the way they wrote. And I'd have to hand my sketch in, Dana. Like, let's say you write till 2 or 3, whatever, on Tuesday night.
2 or 3.
I know. I was a puss. I'd hand it in. This is why I almost got fired.
All night.
2 or 3. I left at 8 a.m. even when I had a baby.
Oh, well, you won that one. But
it became a badge of honor. You stay late.
Yeah, well,
it's crazy.
Listen, let's not focus on the fact that I'm a colossal pussy. I handed my sketch in, and then I took a cab to the Upper West Side to go home and sleep 4 hours. And then I'd come back in, or especially if I didn't finish my sketch, I'd come back in and hand it in, or I'd come and they go, can you tweak this? And I'd come all the way back and then go all the way home and then come back for a read through. That killed me.
That was type.
Yeah, that was typing. So I'd hand it in freehand, and they wouldn't understand it. They'd have to be able to call me in the middle of the night and go, can you explain what this arrow means? And they go, this sketch is garbage. Do you want us to finish it? That was most of the calls. We're halfway through it. It looks like it kind of reeks already. But Maya, when you say that about what you found, I had an old red binder. I don't know if Dana, you might have that. It's hard red binder. And it said SNL in the front, like in a circle. And then you'd put your script in it if you wanted. And the director had one, and the cast barely ever used it. But I got home and found that when I moved recently, and I found an old rundown. You get the rundown after dress and the rundown for air, and it says cold open this, and the times next to it or whatever. And Bye-Bye was on it. It was the Helen Hunt show. And so I saw all that, and it was all these memories. Each sketch you look, even if it was a dress one, you go, oh, that one got cut. Oh, that one's good. Oh, that got moved up on air, I remember. Very like a wash of memories hitting you, like, oh my God, like right there.
I love it.
So Maya, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Were you of the ilk of very meticulously organized with your binder and your office, or were you more toward bare, controlled chaos? Some were very neat and some were just like wild.
I never had a binder. I guess I was like the last generation. I was like the beginning of that like computer generation, but like still innocent. Like we didn't have social media. I think there were probably forums, so people would write weird shit about us. But other than that, like
or fan mail.
Yeah, fan mail from jail. Got a lot of fan mail from jail.
Yeah.
That was the only fan mail I got. And it was like, you and Sherry O'Terry are hot.
Yeah.
Well, that's scary.
David got that a lot too.
We're like, is Sherry O'Terry nice? I got a lot of those. But I've never been an organized person, but I'm not like a slob. I'm not slovenly, but I'm not, You know what? I would say that I'm probably being overly critical, and to an outsider, I probably look organized, especially
You do.
like the Emily Spivey and I shared an office for the majority of the time that I was there. So that was like a pretty consistent office partner. I had other partners, but she and I had an office together for the majority of time. And like, we put posters on the wall, and like, she had her desk, I had mine. Yeah. We like salvaged a couch that wasn't covered in like the semen from the 70s, you know. So,
and the 80s.
And the 80s. I should have said the 80s, but
I can safely say I had no action in my office for the solid 6 years.
God, no.
Nothing.
That's true.
I'm from a fairly sober generation too. Like that's the other thing that's funny. Like, and I'm sure who knows what people were doing. I mean, I'm such a grandma, but at a certain point I was even pregnant when I was there. So like, I feel like in general, other than people going out to drink, like I was a pretty, like, I feel like the majority of people I worked with, especially the girls that I worked with, the women that I worked with were like good students.
You had a lot of strong women.
I just feel like everyone was always like in a tither about us, but I just think like we were all kind of similar in our upbringing, and like we were like good daughters, good students, like
earnest.
Yeah. And like we all like came from sketch. So we knew how to work with other people, you know, because I'd heard other rumors that like it was scary and like
competitive. Yeah.
And I don't work that way. And I also don't work well that way. Like I would just, if it had been that way for me, like if I'd been there at a different time, I don't think I would have survived.
So it seemed like the pivot to like when Tina Fey, and then there was you, and then I don't know in what order, and then there was Amy, of course. And before that, Anna Gasteyer. There were so many strong, funny women. It just seemed to accelerate in terms of numbers.
When I got there, it was already accelerated because when I got there, Molly and Sherry and Anna were still in the cast.
Crush.
Yeah. So it was already Crush City.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that hard or so many women? Because sometimes I think when I was there, it was a little less women in Dana, and that was a big problem. Like, we need more women. We need more women for the parts. But the women that were there got lots of parts. They were thrown in everything.
I mean, I think that I learned the hard way that like, because we were all writing, you know, that like you have to write your own stuff. So it wasn't hard if your stuff was strong and you got it on. But to me, it was more like, I mean, I look at the show now and I'm like, you have like 21 white guys. Like,
yeah.
How can anybody be on the show and get any airtime ever?
There should be more.
We've talked to some people that have been there quite a while, and there's still a logjam.
Well, now it's not just that; it's a huge cast, and then it's also like four pre-tapes a week. Which I mean, I'd be dead.
Yeah, they do a lot of
you drive out to Long Island at 4 a.m. You're like, wait, this is a show week. I can't do anything else. I can't even function. And then it takes you away from writing or something. Yeah. One time, forget it. I had another sob story.
I remember one time.
I can't wait.
No, I was doing Coneheads applause, and Coneheads was sort of jury duty for all of us because Lauren said it was, Paramount. Everyone was in it, and we all had a part. And then I had to do a pickup. So I had to do a pickup during a John Goodman show. And they go, you fly out to L.A., you go to Disney Ranch.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you fly out in a red eye. You wake up, you shoot at Disney Ranch all day, and then you're going to miss Friday or Thursday or somewhere. You come in for the show, Okay. And I'm so light in the show, fine. So I fly on the red eye. Letterman is in first class. This is another side story. And he goes, and I don't know Letterman. I've only done the show once, so I'm totally in awe. And they go to me. The stewardess goes, "Should I wake you for honey buns?" And I go, "No, I'm going to sleep." And
honey buns?
Yeah, I
honey
guess.
buns.
First class. Wake up.
I'm more confounded by the honey bun.
Yeah. So then Letterman gets up, they're taxiing. He gets up to go to the bathroom at the last second, and he stops and puts his hand on my leg and goes, "Should I wake you for honey buns?" And
Honey buns. What airline was
I
this?
know, American. And so then we go there, and I land. I can't sleep. I get up. We drive to Disney Ranch. They grease my hair back. I do a couple of Crusher scenes, whatever, killing. These are other people's words.
You destroyed.
And
let's face it.
and then I get all the way back home to my dog shit apartment, and this is, obviously at like 5 or 6. I order a Domino's on the way. I land, I take one bite, and Shoemaker calls, and he goes, "Hey, Lauren wants you back." And I go, well, he doesn't, but also I'm coming tomorrow. I just finished shooting. He goes, "He wants you back. You got a car out front. You got to come back." I go, "You're out of your fucking mind. I got to go now."
Back to Disney Ranch?
Back to New York.
Oh, back to New York.
I just got home. I got to go to bed, and I got to get up and then fly back.
Can I ask Maya a question? Sorry. Finish your thought, David.
Jesus.
What? I got ADD.
What, is Maya the guest or am I?
I'm just curious when jumping around here, because you had this huge Kamala Harris thing you did that I think did you win an Emmy? Or I don't know. You have a lot of awards.
You have 2 Emmys.
And nominations and things.
I only won Emmys during quarantine, so it feels like during COVID. So it feels like a fever dream.
It seems like you won a lot of stuff.
Counting
in the
those?
last 5. So you won for Kamala Harris.
Okay, I won 4 Emmys during lockdown.
During
4
lockdown.
Emmys?
4 Emmys during lockdown. And
2 during lockdown, 2 the fall.
What the fuck? You have
COVID
4?
was pandemics and awards just kind of are married when it comes
I got
to
really
Maya.
hot during the pandemic.
Now,
Luckily,
we know you
awards
have a
mean
big
nothing to me.
family and you're busy. How were you? I was just to David's thing. How were you flying back and forth? Because at one point, Lauren called me before the start of that political season, just out of the blue, like on a Thursday. "We need you like yesterday. You'll do Biden." And I hadn't even tried to do Biden. I hadn't even thought of doing Biden. I had to do something else, so I didn't do it. And then Jim Carrey did his first. He was the first one to kind of do it for that season, right? It was Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
But then it's just for travel first, besides the creative part of it. Were you just going back and forth, or were you able to stay in New York?
I was going back and forth for the most part. The week of the election, I stayed in New York, but I was going back and forth every weekend. Yeah.
When would you come in? For Friday and Saturday or the whole week?
I would come in for like Thursday or Friday. Yeah. And that was pretty early. That was pretty early days of COVID. And like, I was very scared. So, and I was also like scared about my kids, and I wasn't vaccinated yet. And we didn't even know if they would get vaccinated. My kids would get vaccinated anytime soon. So I was pretty nervous, Nelly, about the whole thing. Sure. And it was really actually quite comforting to be in 30 Rock, because I think like anything, I mean, I experienced this having a baby and then coming back to work, which was like anything familiar, even if it's hard, it's more comforting. So like being in that building, especially when there was a global pandemic, weirdly felt comforting because it was familiar. I knew where to go.
Feels normal. It
felt normal. Yeah. And so, but I say that to say like those first shows were pretty gnarly in terms of like cue cards were on the third floor. So we weren't really seeing changes sometimes. I think one of the first shows, we didn't see the changes until we were on air. And that
always blows people's
and that
minds.
Was tough.
That was
it is
tough.
Weird.
But it was, like, again, to me, that like weird, like rush that I get from that place that is familiar was okay. And I knew it would be okay. Whereas like, I assumed somebody like Jim was like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what's going on? This is madness. Do
you find that Lauren, cause I was just thinking about his personality, and he is, with his droll sense of humor, he never gets, thrown out. I've only seen him just very calm, and I don't know what he said when you first came back, but he must have said something pithy to relax you, and you do Kamala, and I don't know. It's just that vibe is kind of comforting. That's
it is
a big
comforting.
Part of his.
Also, can I just say for the record that you have the best Lauren. I've ever heard.
Whoa.
I think that's very nice. Sorry.
I put you on the spot.
No,
like,
I can't do it.
But like if I'm like old and like, or if I'm like in a bed, Dana, will you come talk to me like Lauren?
I would talk to you like Lauren. It's that thing, you're like really loved. And it's like a victory lap. I have Laurenisms.
My heartbeat just got like
isn't it
calmer,
good?
Just
and I
calm
feel warm
down.
everywhere.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, I started doing it when I got there after about 4 months, and I didn't know anyone else was doing it, but it was really, which I've said before, in the Wednesday meeting, picking the sketches. Some sketches off to the side. There's a big bulletin board, and he would say, that was my first in. Oh, I still have no fucking first act. And then he would go in his private bathroom and come back out. And he'd say, Whitney's piece, The Pig and the Goat. Anybody? I don't know, Lauren.
Anybody I liked it.
And then Lauren would go, I thought it was breathtaking.
Oh, it's so good.
Breathtaking.
I know, we love him. He's very popular on our show. He gets shinier and brighter as you get away from the show, and you're kind of more aware of what he's having to balance. The character of Kamala Harris, didn't you sometimes have a cup with a straw in it? There was a casual kind of, there was some kind of character you made from Kamala.
I think it was like a Mai Tai or a daiquiri or
so you just
colada type drink.
Played her as this character that was based on Kamala, which was sort of, it was incredibly potent what you were doing. This super confident, or how did you come up with that?
I first of all, I just want to say for the record that I just met her in person for the first time ever. And I don't know if you experienced this playing political people on the show, but but they would, during the elections, everyone would come through the building. So you would get to cross paths sometimes with the people that you were playing, but I never got to do that. And then I just thought like, well, I'll never meet her. It's COVID. And but I did just get to meet her. And then weirdly, like at a dinner, then someone was asking like, how do you play her? And I had to like say it in front of her. It was humiliating. Although I realized I was saying to her, I'm not an impressionist. I've never been an impressionist. Like I think I do impressions of people, but I think the reason why her impression is that way is because Kamala is like, I'm fascinated by her. Like, again, back to that thing that we were talking about, Dana, like I found the joy in playing her in like the same way. I think kids like dress up as like princesses or like play like like Luke Skywalker, I know my references are dated, but you get it. Like,
no, but I get the sense of fun. I mean, when I watch do Kamala, it's just like Maya's having so much fun and it's joyful. And so it's hard. You just want to look at it. You want more of it.
It's joyful. And I actually said that to her. Like, I find her to be joyful. Like, she's a big smiler. She feels like she's got a lot of joy in her. She's laughing at things. And then when she has to be serious, tough, stern, anything, she is. And like, it's powerful. She's so powerful. And it's really exciting. So like all the things that draw me to her were just like the things that I was probably in the back of my mind trying to emulate when you see someone that's like exciting to you or fascinating. That's why like Beyonce is so fun. Cause like, I want to be Beyonce. I want to play dress up. Like I want to be her, her stage persona,
Yeah. Isn't it fun to play confident characters?
Huh? Is it fun?
Fun to play confident characters. Yeah. It's like your Long Island ladies with Amy, like those two are so crazy funny.
Well, that one is Jody Mancuso, who runs our hair department at SNL. Like that we're both.
Oh, you were doing her.
Yeah, we're both playing Jody. And that's the fun. That's like the fun game of it is like we're imitating Jody for Jody, and she loves it. So then we just keep going.
Also, you're playing Kamala, and some of these characters are not mean impressions. So you're not. It's more fun when you see the people, because sometimes impressions have a slight mean streak just for the funny factor, and you don't realize when you see the person, oh, I do exaggerate this or that, and that might not.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I ended up having to play like Trump or something. Like, there's no way I'd find any joy. I mean, I'm sure I would do just fine roasting that mofo. But yeah,
we're going to do a lot of things. Excuse me, we're doing a lot of good stuff. Let me tell you, you're going to see a lot of stuff. You're going to be very happy. I can tell you that.
Stuff might be the word he uses the most. Like, if you were to tell me that we were ever going to have someone in a position of power and whose favorite word was stuff, I'd be so scared and so bummed.
We're doing a lot of things.
Really? Or any time you want to tell me what those things are?
No, it's just very, Dana's very general.
I try to find a hook in it. It's like
funny.
A song to me, and I don't really harbor in teaching or making political points. But you could just do stuff and let the audience decide. But Trump's a funny rhythm. Biden is also very interesting now that he's gotten more animated and he's louder, because he was very whispery. And so,
James that's on SNL right now is doing both of them beautifully. He's unreal.
He's incredible.
Oh yeah. We did talk to him.
We had him on the podcast, and he's
unbelievable. And it's like anything. Like, the minute you see someone do the impression, you're like, oh, that's what it is.
Yeah. That's the most jealous hit when you go, oh my God, that's an easy hook.
But I feel like now we can all tap into it and we can do it because we heard him do it correctly. You're like, right, that's what it is. It was cool too, because I remember during the pandemic, early stages of the pandemic, Amy Poehler, I think, was really into his TikTok and was sending him to me and our friends and saying, like, this guy's
I was too. I sent to my friends. He was walking down the street.
Exactly.
And I go, it's so hard to riff. He would talk about anything, and I go, it's very hard without a script, because a script, you write in your hooks. You make sure you say certain things. But when someone just asks you a question and you have to riff, you can't always find your way back to the funny parts, you know?
He has the language of Trump in that when we did a live thing with James, and then we had the audience just suggest any movie or TV show, you know, and he would just go with it. Whatever it was, as Trump, in the language of Trump.
He would do Trump like saying why it affected China. And so whatever you asked him, he would get it all the way back to that's why China's the bad guys. And it was so funny. And then God. It was just a Q&A. And
Spade, is that the hat I bought you?
I didn't even think of that. I swear to God. I thought
you were doing it to see if I would notice. Really?
And I didn't mean to interrupt while you were talking about Kamala, but the light was in my eye, and I grabbed my hat and I go, wait a second. Didn't you
wait a minute?
That was a sweet little grown-ups wrap gift.
That's what it was. I go, you gave it to all. Was it grown-ups?
I only bought you one gift once. Don't make people think I've.
Oh my God! You know, I get a gift probably every week from Maya, and that was just one of them.
Nice.
Grown-ups. Oh my God!
It's the least I can do, Dana.
It was literally the least she could do.
David needs a friend. Yeah. Conan needs a friend, and David needs a friend. Go ahead, David.
Maya and I are friends, and we were on Grown Ups, which is keeping the lights on at TBS. It's on every day, Grown Ups 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And I had so much fun. I don't even realize it till afterwards, and then people see it, and they go, was that fun? I go, yeah, it was. Even though some reviews were like, at least they had fun.
I mean, I feel like my memories of making that movie, well, the first movie I was pregnant. So that was more like just keeping myself intact. But I feel like we did a lot of eating together. You're a very good eating buddy.
I'm a very good eater. Also, you were always fun on the show. So if you're walking on the set and you see Maya, you have to just walk over because she has something to say about anything. It's just fun to talk to. And then the next one, you're great. And then I ran into you in Hawaii when I was doing the wrong Missy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good old Tiptoes.
I told Dana that there's a Tiptoes, but
David
I can't remember how it started.
Nickname.
Well, my kids call him a Tiptoes because they tried to tell him a joke and he couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
And the joke goes like this, Dana. What begins with T and ends with T?
And I said Tiptoes.
And he said a Tiptoes, and they were like a teapot. Like,
yeah.
What?
By the way, they laughed so hard at my answers; it was so fucking horrible. And then they liked me after that because I was stupid.
Aw.
Yeah, he's not so bright. That little Spade.
Yeah,
but
it's
he's
cute.
like a kind of a fake uncle, you know, and the kids love him.
He's a funkle.
When I
He's a
walked
Funkle.
away, I heard one of them go,
There
"Mommy,
you go.
why is he famous?" And you couldn't answer.
And I was like, huh.
You know, that's a good question. I don't know.
Eat your frosted mini wheat, son.
Maya, what's the questions you've been asked the most when you go on podcasts
Oh, yeah, what's a
or
good
talk
one?
shows?
You don't have to answer your
What
fake
does
question.
David Spade smell like? Is
Yeah.
probably number one.
Honey,
I haven't done a lot of podcasts. P.S.
Yeah, you're a babe because
I'm very selective in my.
We're very flattered you're on this one.
Well,
Okay, I'll do
again,
one.
like you guys are people I know, like, and adore and worship. My
Don't get
phone's
that.
ringing. Should I answer it?
I think it's kind of hip if you do. Go ahead.
Let's see who it is.
Yeah, because it sounds
Did
like
it
a murder
stop
mystery
already?
or something.
That's a hotel
No, I
phone.
think,
I think-
it's like, can we clean?
No, it's probably Kamala
Hello,
Harris.
this is Maya.
Up?
Hi,
Go
this is
for
Kamala
Maya.
Harris, and
Uh-huh.
Maya is on the phone right now. She's in.
I don't know who that is.
The call is coming from inside the hotel.
She says, "I don't know who that is."
Now
She's walking.
She's terrified.
Thank you. Bye. It was Kamala Harris, guys.
What is she doing?
I knew it.
She was here to hang out, you know. I learned it's Kamala, by the way. So if you do meet her, you have to pronounce that. You put the emphasis on the first A, or else I don't know. what
Kamala,
happened to
almost
you.
like Pamela, but
almost
with the
like
K.
Pamela. Do that.
Well,
that
yeah.
fruit we all pretend exists.
There's two questions I'd like to get to. One
Yeah,
is
me
because
too.
I'm just curious. When did little Maya first have the dream of being a comedian, i.e. sketch player? Because I know you have a huge musical background,
Mhm.
but when did that first hit you like, I'm funny and maybe I could be on TV?
I
How old
think
were you?
I fantasized about it very, very, very young.
Like 7, 6, 7, 8 years
Yeah,
of age?
maybe even, yeah. Like,
Do you see it
5 or
in any of
6.
your kids? Do you see the bug in any of your kids?
I do. Yeah. And I'm
Okay.
sure in the same way that I had it because, you know, my parents being musicians, they were on the
Mhm.
road. So they were live performers. And then there was like a great moment when, as an older person, I discovered a home movie from like sometime we were on the road with my parents, me and my brother. And
Mhm.
one of the Smothers brothers was teaching my brother how to yo-yo.
Oh, Tommy.
Yeah,
Tommy
Smothers
Yo-Yo.
Brothers. Wow.
It was like my mom was playing with the Smothers Brothers. Like that was the combo, and which is like, oh,
Wow.
of course that makes sense. That's like music and comedy totally go
Mhm.
together.
Yeah.
And I was little and impressionable, and that was normal to me.
Mhm. To be in-
And
yeah.
so I think in that same way that like that bug definitely gets in there and rubs off a bit. Yeah.
And then when did you first attempt it? Was it grade school, high school, like
All school,
all through
the
school
time,
theater?
like just
Okay.
Clown.
full ham
So
bone.
you were going the whole time.
ham bone.
Full ham bone, always wanted to be. But I think it took until fairly recently that I realized like I was always like, I'm an actor, but I'm actually I'm a performer. I think I'm more of I think that my true essence is a live performer. I can act, I can perform, but like I'm much better live. I'm much better on a stage. I'm much happier. I feel like it just is more natural to me that way. I feel
Do you
like
have
I
a
fizzle out a
problem?
little bit. And
Well, with film and those kinds of things, that you're fighting against. You know, we got to do it again, and we're taking a break, and the sun's coming up, and if it's live and the lights are on, then it's just go, go, go. So you can get lost more easily.
yeah,
mean,
and
that's
I'm
where you
not
want to
worried
be.
about like this angle, seeing this mole
Mhm.
and this side
Yeah.
of my nose, and like you want to pretend that you're not noticing there's a camera right there, but there's a camera right there, and then it's like the 6th time you've done it. So it's like saying, it's like saying donut 20 times. By the
Yeah.
20th time it sounds
It's not
weird.
even or
I read-
125 times.
Dana, I read about these directors that are great, but and there's a lot of them that this sounds so crazy, but I get that you have to do some takes, but you read about these people that do 20, 30, 50, and in comedy, I guess in some instances, I just don't agree with it just on my performing way because I want it to matter every time. And I'm just not good enough to where you give it 1,000% every time. I've been on sets where, the first 10, there's no chance they're going to use them no matter how good you do. There's just a thing where they're going to go, I have a thing about we're going to go forever. And I worked with a guy once where they go, you want to go again? And he goes, yep. Before anyone could say anything, he'd go, yep. And one time I pulled him aside and I said, hey man, what's going on? And he goes, oh, if they ever ask me, I'm never going to say no. And I go, well, you gotta. He goes, I just want another chance at it. I go, but that's a decision between you and the director. Like the director is ultimately going to pick. So you have no say in it. You're just going to go and go and go and go and go.
I would say for me personally, like Larry Sanders, the great Gary Shandling, and then Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like I've talked to Jeff Garland about it, and he says, well, sometimes you don't know you're doing a take. You don't even know you're doing a take. You're just talking. So you could tell sometimes Richard Lewis and Larry David are not really acting anymore. They're just riffing and the camera's rolling and they're sort of breaking. Yeah. So I do think with comedians and performers, the directorial style should sort of try to take advantage of that. If you're Daniel Day-Lewis and
that's wonderful because there is an essence there that is not, it's just far more contrived when you're trying to make it seem natural. And that's so smart. Larry's a smart guy and so is Gary.
Discovering it when the camera's rolling as opposed to discovering it before. Like Eastwood doesn't rehearse much. They kind of talk and let's get you over there, Woody Allen. And I think just trying to preserve that with a certain kind of performer where it's just you're discovering it right as now I got it and the camera's rolling as opposed to I got it. Now let's go over there and shoot it again.
Right.
Tricky. That's why movies always sabotage me. Except Wayne's World, we had a lot of control, Mike and I. In the shooting was very simple, and there was a lot of one worked.
Yes, I just rewatched it for the 3 millionth time with my children.
You did?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, of course I did. I mean, Dana, you're beautiful. You're just beautiful. Like everything about you. It's like watching Jordan just play basketball. It's a joke how fantastic you are.
Guy, I think I love you, but we're both married. I would say this about that particular movie. I look at Garth and want to be Garth.
Right. It shows.
I want to be him. He's so loyal. He's so positive. He worries about his friend. So I'm like, he's in the moment. He's playful. So I want to be Garth too. I
feel like you can, if you really had to think about why we love Garth so much, I think it's like, you can kind of feel that, and there's something like, it's the same way that I felt about Saturday Night Live when I was a kid. My parents would watch it and I would watch them watching it. And they were the age the people were on the show. And I was like, ooh, that looks fun. It looks like they're having fun with their friends. Mm-hmm. And there was something about it that I was attracted to. Like, I didn't know exactly what it was, but it looked fun. And my parents were fun. Like, I wasn't scared of my parents. They were like young, cool people. So something about it felt familiar and it felt like, that's where cool people are. And like
friends having fun is so seductive. And I've mentioned this recently, but David Crosby, one of the people from the 60s who saw the Beatles fresh, and he just says, these were guys having so much fun and projecting so much joy and dudes hanging out that you're like, I want to do that. I want to have fun with my friends like that. I think that's
probably like, if I had to take away like the one thing that when I always think about like, why did I want to do this? Or like, what was I interested in doing when I grew up? All I remember thinking is, I want to do that. So it would be like, I'd go to a concert and I'd look at the person and be like, I want to do that. And then I would see a movie and I was like, I want to do that. Like, that's really like the only thing I can connect to. Like, I just wanted to be like, I want to pretend to be those people was kind of how I felt.
It's same here, and I wanted to do it when I was 9. I was too shy and had such a kind of a strange childhood, but a lot of people do. A little rough, David as well. So I never pursued it until later, but it was always a secret kind of desire to do that.
Well, what about having fun? I know we got to wrap it up, but Bridesmaids, you couldn't look at more people having fun in a movie. It just seems like
that's lightning in a bottle.
You're all friends, lightning in a bottle.
That was movie. Fun. Yeah, I think
unbelievable.
You're 100% right. That was the joy of making that. And like, I think at a certain point, I remember us talking about it, saying like, I don't know if anyone's going to see this movie or like it, but I'm so glad we made it. Like we had so much fun making it.
Off
And
the
that is
charts.
also like the essence of people that know each other well. You get to experience that chemistry, and then you're all trying to make each other laugh.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, that just was
Unbelievable.
that's one of those movies that just made its mark.
Well, Loot, I got to ask you
don't
two
know
things
how-
about Loot, Maya, before I let you go.
Wow, this is so. I don't know professional Spade. I'm really.
I know.
enjoying this.
Spade is kind of today. He is sort of the boss man. He is kind of taking.
I feel like he got
get
a
to sit
haircut
back.
for this podcast.
He
I like
did
my
it-
hair right now.
It's
I
the
do
best
too.
his hair's looked. Last night we had dinner and his hair looked amazing, and he was a little cocky about it. It still looks good. Next day hair is looking
It's
good.
very slept on, like.
Yeah, bed head.
Look at I got a little PTA
Fine.
beard coming in, Maya. You see that with the gray?
Yeah, mine is too. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. Yours is good. And when you do Loot, okay, real quick, Dana, I'm going to ask you this because I wrote down her cast is, we talked a little bit about it at the beginning. I didn't give too much away. I just was watching clips, which, of course, she's
You did a little homework? Oh.
always funny to watch her in anything, but I like to see you really rich in it. But you have Ron Funches and Nat Faxon are the only ones I know in it, but that I know personally. Both great. Both, if they're in there, they're going to score. So if you get to play off them, it's already.
Yeah, Nat and I were in the Groundlings together a mere 20 plus years ago. So that's the joy right there.
Yeah.
I just fell in love with Ron Funches
He's
and
a
wanted
sweetheart.
to know him. I love him.
He has
so
his
much.
own lane. He's got something very
he's got
unique.
He's got a very interesting thing he does.
Yeah,
And we
so
used to have him on Lights
gentle
Out.
and funny. Yeah,
Always
he's cool.
quietly scoring every time you
Always
go to him.
quietly scoring, and it's just it's such a joy to watch. It's like hanging out with like the personality of like a human mochi.
I like that description. So-
Well, Loot should be on now. It's written by, was it the Parks and Recs people that put it together?
Alan Yang and Matt Hubbard.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that's sort of a vibe that rolls through it.
Sort of a vibe, Spade. It's like if you're like hanging out with cool people and like
Mm-hmm.
drinking brews and
Yeah.
I don't know, massaging each other's shoulders.
Yep.
It's kind of like that.
That's it. That's where I like to be. That's what I'm doing.
That's the show, though. That's the whole show. We just
That's-
hang out and massage each other's shoulders. It's pretty cool.
Well, Loot is a cool name because I say loot because I talk about money all the time. So I say loot a lot and I rap.
It is very fun pretending to be rich. I do think that that's the lure of what was exciting about the show.
yeah, that byline makes me intrigued.
Yeah.
Just anyone becoming a billionaire. Like what?
Yeah.
Well, what
'Cause
would
you
it be like?
instantly are like, what can't I do? Like
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
possibilities are endless, but then instantly fall into like social responsibility. Like, should I save the world?
But
Yeah.
one thing about our billionaires is they seem to really, really enjoy it. Like they always say they're going to give it all away, but then their stock goes up. So I
I
gave
don't
away
know
30.
if they can. Yeah. I don't know if they can
And-
give it all away.
And
then they wanna live
multiplies so
forever.
fast. They give away.
Well, I don't
its
think
back.
they can.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett says he's going to give away 99%, but then there's like $1 billion left for the kids.
I know, just laying around.
I'm not going to spoil them. I'm only leaving 1%. It's like
I mean, I guess
300
it's
million.
not, you can have like a nice place to live and all that. And then while you're saving the world, right? You can get some islands and
Yeah. Dennis Miller says that Carvey, it all comes down to planes and paintings, okay? That's the final frontier. You want that Basquiat for about 200 mil? You got two G5s rotating, going around the world. But yeah, that is the chariot of all. To have a G6 that can travel anywhere, it just waits for you. That's the most decadent, cool thing you could have.
I'm working on it.
I think, as a toy.
Maya's
working on it, right? Spade?
Trying.
Spades. I feel like I should do Garth for a second because of your.
Okay, go ahead. We'll end with this.
Maya sure has been a good guest. She really knows how to say cool things.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. I have a total boner. Oh, my God. I'm full on excited right now.
I love it. All
I
right.
feel funny like when I used to climb the rope in gym class.
Oh, damn it. Swing indeed.
Swing.
Indeed.
Well, Maya, I know you have a heart
Thank
out.
you,
and we
Maya.
kept you.
I have a heart
It's
out,
almost
not because of you guys, because I gotta go do Fallon. It's Jimmy's fault.
Well, you know what? I'm
Jimmy.
doing. Jim Downey wrote that. I'm on my way to Santa Monica after this. His documentary for Peacock.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
did that when I was here last time.
I'm doing that.
That's very
today.
exciting and probably a rich piece of history that
Yes.
will be worth being a part of.
It's nice when someone gets their due. That Jim was one of the overarching people of
Can you do
the
a little
history
Jim
of the
Downey
show.
for me?
Oh, that's tough.
You know, something really funny about,
You know,
I don't know, he always stares at the ceiling.
It just feels a little precious.
There's something,
All I
I'm gonna
get
have
is
him
Maya. It's the downer.
Is that what he says?
Yeah.
It's
I
the downer.
once called him, and I'm going to say without exaggeration, he talked for 3 hours straight, only once in a while going, am I talking too much? And it was absolutely fascinating. We went over global history, U.S. history. He just went everywhere. I mean, I've never met an intellect. He goes to the Yale Library and just gets big books and reads them. He's like this brainiac extraordinaire.
What a
Anyway.
rich life we've lived that we've crossed paths with some of these people
Yeah.
and minds. And I'm also including both of you. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild to have had a job the job that we all have in common provided us with this like weekly changing thing. So we really did, like, sometimes I'll kind of think like, wow, I did meet a lot of people in my 20s and 30s. Like, I've met people like I worked with them for a week, you know. It's
And you
weird.
forget. I see people and they go, I hosted SNL when you were there. I go, oh, that's right. Like, even Michael Jordan, I remember I did a whole week with him and did a sketch with him. And I'm like, they go, have you ever met Michael Jordan? I go, I don't think so. And they go, no, you did. You did the whole show with him. I go, well, because it's sort of just work and you just try to stay out of their face and you just try to keep everything respectful and you forget.
I would always get kind of nervous when the host in the early days was down in the offices and they'd go, would you like to go?
Yeah.
Charlton Heston would like to say hello to you. And then you're walking down there and you open the door and then there's Charlton Heston or Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
It's just like,
always,
hello.
always nervous, never not nervous about that. To me, that was never like, let me handle this.
Let me handle it. It's Daniel Day-Lewis.
Hi, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah,
Oh,
what's
Jesus.
up? But you're right.
Okay.
That's why this
What's up, Jesus Christ?
Hey. When did he host?
In 97.
Oh, and our musical guest is Madonna. I feel like it'll be a sort of a good mix.
with Jesus.
It's that thing. It would be really nice if it was like a really good show.
Oh, Dana,
You know-
I'm not kidding. If it's just like once a year that you want to leave me voice messages.
I'll get your information and I will occasionally leave you a message from Lauren.
I mean, I will say for when we wrote for the 40th, for the when Martin Short and I did the musical thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, right.
We wrote Choppin' Broccoli for you because that made us so happy. And that was such a big part of our lives of like me and Emily Spide. We were like, oh my God, do you think Dana would say yes? And then we got to like talk to you about it. And you're more like us. I never assume people remember me. I never impose. I'm always like, okay, like a
right
on the back foot. Cause I don't like that over familiarity. And you were like, is this okay? Do you want this in here? We're like, Jesus, like that honestly was the component to like, that was like the key ingredient to like bringing it all together. And I feel like that moment in my life where the like younger me was like in love with you and watching you be a genius on the show and quoting you in my house and in my life, and then getting to pay respect to that. And then notice I don't say these things to Spade ever. So it's true.
Well, Maya, could I just say because of that, and thank you for putting it in there, during the commercial break, Paul McCartney was sitting in the stand, so I did this little teeny thing from Revolver. Your day breaks, your mind aches. And I'm not a big piano player, but I was able to play that. And Paul stood up, did his 6 shooters. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. So that was like our connection. And then we did Wayne's World at the end of the show, and we're doing the good nights. And suddenly there's someone massaging me.
No.
And I look up and it's Paul.
Unreal.
So all of us, to sum up, when you're on Saturday Night Live experientially, who you meet, the pressure, 8H, Lorne Michaels, it's a time in your life when you're having success or not, everything about it, and the relationships you make, that if you ran into somebody, you couldn't see him for 10 years, like with David and I didn't see him a lot for many years. Suddenly we're best friends in like 3 seconds. So that's why this podcast is fun, because it's such a seminal part of all of our lives. It's a linchpin.
I'll come back if you want to do like a 4-hour session next time.
We love it. You got too many
that was met with like a resounding silence.
No, you have so many things
no one's
to
ever
talk
said
about.
that to us. No, everyone at the end of the years go, okay, I did this. I did you a favor. I will never do this again. That's usually the sign off. You're the first to say.
No, Jimmy was great yesterday. Jimmy Fallon. He's so fucking funny. So we had a great time, and we love you, Maya. I always joke with you, but I love you to death because you're so great.
Yeah,
and
I'm at an age where I just tell everyone I love them. So
we're gonna bring Dana into the fold, and then you can slowly phase me out and bring in Dana.
I've been waiting for so long to do that. Thank you.
Great. Okay, bye,
I
honey.
love you guys. Thank you so much.
Love you.
Bye.
Hey, what's up, flies? What's up, fleas? What's up, people that listen? We want to hear from you and your dumb questions.
Questions, ask us anything. Anything you want.
You can email us at flyonthewall@cadence13.com. Okay, we're going to read a fan question from Aaron Andriaco.
Andriaco.
Aye.
Aaron Andriaco.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey guys, 43-year-old lifelong SNL fan, love the podcast. I'm always amazed how much original material is generated only in a week. Oh, at the show. Curious how many weeks it took to write the 40th special. Ooh, that's a good question. That was very tricky. I think that was Steve Higgins was in charge of that.
I would say, like everything else on SNL, it's devoted to ADD theater. Why do it now when you can do it later? And then this compression mentally starts this pressure, and finally you have to work on it. I think we probably did the 40th in the same amount we did, even though it was like a 4-hour special as a regular week. There was no really rehearsal on the soundstage. I mean, Mike and I were just back in a room going, Joe, I could do that too, Wayne. We're just in this little
you're
room.
left to your own devices.
Yeah, and we were just practicing ourselves. So that was fly by the seat of your pants 40th that turned out amazing, but it was one of those shows that was iffy, right? What did you do on the 40th?
I wasn't in anything, and I go, yeah, we'll just come. And then I said,
put you in
maybe one sketch when they're leaving, I'll just stand there and say bye-bye. And they goes, yeah. So at the end of the Californians, he goes, just say bye-bye, bye-bye. And because I was like, I'll take anything. Everyone was being cool because I go, that'd be funny because it's something I did.
The 405 to Stone Canyon Drive.
Funny.
It's Californian, sorry.
And everyone was game for that. Like I just did like the end of a sketch, and then Steve Martin puts the whole get up on for King Tut to sing 2 lines to be a part of some other bigger sketch. It was just fun. It was more fun the 40th because everywhere you turned, it was someone you knew or someone famous, and they were all just. It was more of a party. People were drinking. It was less of a show.
It's like it was a wax museum when you looked at in the stands. It was everybody was famous, so you're playing to all famous people, which normally might not be the best audience. But Mike and I went on at the very end, like almost at midnight. We waited like for 8 hours, and I said either we should be really flattered that we'll put them on at the very end, or really angry. But I said let's go fuck them up, man. So the rest is history.
Yeah. That's it. Say, what is his name? Oh, Aaron. Thank you, Aaron, for writing that in. That was our shortest answer ever, to be honest.
Thank you, Aaron. And the Draco.
This has been a podcast presentation of Cadence 13. Please listen, then rate, review, and follow all episodes. Available now for free wherever you get your podcast.
No joke, folks. Fly on the Wall has been a presentation of Cadence 13, executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Chris Corcoran of Cadence 13, and Charlie Finan of Brillstein Entertainment.
The show's lead producer is Greg Holtzman, with production and engineering support from Serena Regan and Chris Basil of Cadence 13. Dana, you take this one. I got to take this call. Yeah, go ahead. Melanie Hudson. Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is what it's come to.
1 million Deutschmarks? Yeah.
200 episodes,
Put it in
and now
cash.
he's just, And I'm going to, that thing we talked about the other day, I want in. I'll give you 5%.
What?
Anyway, can I talk about our friend Melanie Hutzel?
Yes.
Melanie Hutzel, a great cast member of SNL, 91 and 94. I overlapped with her for a couple years, David for 3 years.
Yeah.
She was a powerhouse sketch performer on that show. And she's Southern and charming.
Like very likable, very likable. She was in the show. She still is. We talked about the Oh My God sketch. She used to do Delta, Delta, Delta. Remember that sketch?
She did that. First of all, two things. One is her journey to how she got on the show is very charming and interesting, and her relationship with Lauren at that time. We'll talk about that. And then we broke down my favorite.
Yeah.
One of my phrases, her epic sketch that she wrote was the Partridge Family.
Versus the Brady Bunch.
Versus the Brady Bunch. It was huge. And how she got that mounted. Who did you play in that?
One of my favorite ones ever. I was on the drums and I was not happy
Were
about
you then, which? I was
Chris,
David Cassidy.
I was Chris Partridge, who, I didn't know if he's in the credits. He was a fucking, basically a day player. They didn't use him. He'd be running around scenes with no lines. And then they go, Spade, you play him. Get him the drums, and we'll make sure Sandler and
Sandler was in it.
Yeah, and you all block me. Farley was Reuben Kincaid.
We had Farley. It was like 12 people in this sketch. we go moment to moment. I played David Cassidy in case I didn't get that out.
It was great.
It was fun.
So let's
enjoy
roll
Melanie Hutzel. Melanie Hutzel is here. We've got our technical issues out of the way. Believe it or not,
Melanie, are you a morning DJ?
She's surrounded by.
That's what it looks like.
She's got 4 microphones and 3 pianos.
Yeah, my husband and I, we like to jam. Just for as recreation. No, my husband is a composer, and so he has his little studio down here.
Sexy.
I know, isn't it crazy? No, we do. This used to be our kids' playroom. And it's now his studio. This is where I do my fun self-tape auditions.
Hello,
I just love them.
Melanie, SAG-AFTRA.
Exactly. So a lot happens. A lot happens in this room.
Isn't it nice? You have some V drums in the background. I see virtual drums.
Yeah. Would you like to buy them?
I already made a bid through Greg Holtzman. I actually made a bid on them. It's a whole Wi-Fi thing. I know your address.
No. But
I have a keyboard in my house, but I play like a little kid, and guitars, and I do that. I do that stuff.
I know what you do, Dana.
Yeah, Dana.
Chopping broccoli.
Oh my God, you said it before I said it.
She chop.
That was literally one of my most favorite sketches ever, along with most of the rest of the world. Right? Chopping broccoli.
It was so dumb.
That's why. Naive commitment. It's either really stupid or really clever. It's like the whole idea you can't get it out of your head.
Is it different every time? Like, she chop.
Yep. Oh, by this point, if I'm doing stand-up and they yell for it at the end, I have the guitar, it's 10 minutes. Chop. I mean, it just goes. It's like 20 minutes of just chop.
I love that.
So Melanie Hutzel and I and David actually shared the Saturday Night Live stage from 90 or 91 to 90. I left 93, but I was there 3 years with Melanie, David, maybe 4. And I watched, I'll just cut to one of my favorite things you've done. And I watched it this morning.
Sure.
Which was I looked at it today and I go, that is a perfect sketch.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Some sketches are like, okay, I can't imagine it being better for what it was trying to do. And it is written by Melanie Hutzel and whoever else.
Wow.
Okay.
Brady Bunch versus the Partridge Family. Susan Day was the host.
Wow. Yeah. No, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And
that was a lot of fun.
Tell us how you conceived that. David was on drums. We were in the Partridge Family band, and I was David Cassidy with a guitar. So tell us how that came about, that sketch.
And also, real quick, Chris Farley was Reuben Kincaid, which was one of my favorite moments.
And he grabbed and kissed Julia Sweeney aggressively, right? At one point. Chris, he would tend to commit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, Jan Brady was one of the characters that I came to the show with, and Marcy Klein was absolutely obsessed with the Brady Bunch. So I had that going in my favor.
Marcy.
Marcy. And so I remember that week, Susan Day was coming. And so there was all kinds of talk around the office. And I knew I needed to produce and come up with something cool. And I remember Marcy Klein just kind of like showed up in the hallway, just at some like weird moment. She just appeared and she was like, Melanie, as you know, Susan Day is our host this week, and we're expecting a lot and you need to get it done.
Jesus.
Funny. And for
sound like
people who
Marcy.
don't know, because we're supposed to do this, it's like radio DJs. Melanie was famous for doing Jan Brady and toured with the Brady Bunch. Did you
tour
thing.
after or before?
Yeah. Kind of before, during, and after ish.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I say that about Marcy Klein, but the truth is she was a huge part of me getting on the show. So thank you, Marcy.
She
love
was
Marcy.
the den mother, the psychiatrist, the go-to person, the hand holder of the guest host. I mean, she was like a big, big presence in those years.
Oh, absolutely.
So who cracked the code of like Brady Bunch versus Partridge Family? It's kind of sitting there. It's just you need to put.
Well,
the
you're
pieces
the
together.
Brady Bunch, and then Susan Day came in.
Susan Day comes along, and then Marcy says her thing, and thankfully, sometimes some people I think would probably, I don't know, I could have just froze up at that point, but it felt good for me to have somebody kind of lay it out like this is what is expected and whatever. And so when I was growing up, I used to watch the Partridge Family and the Brady Bunch back to back, just like we all, you do, just like we all did.
Yeah, unreal.
And in my young little, however old mind, watching those shows, I would kind of get the character. The two shows were so much alike that I would get the characters mixed up. And I also had this fantasy that they lived on the same street and knew each other.
I had a fantasy about Susan Day too. Yeah. I don't think it was exactly that.
My wife loved David Cassidy. I mean, literally possessed.
Dude, it was unreal. But Danny Bonucci was doing those like wisecracker lines. I thought it was so hilarious.
So hilarious. And so I just decided at first it was going to be some kind of like dream sequence. And then it just kind of like went from there and became the battle of the bands. Like it just made the most sense. And also it was like, I was so excited to do a sketch that included so many people, like almost the whole cast, I think.
That's always a sort of a home run to be like, they love it when the big cast thing and they put it early in the show. Half the fun of that is probably, you walk over to desks, you go to offices and go, hey, Farley, do you want to play Reuben Kincaid? He's like, yeah. And then you get to go put everyone in. And it's like, you feel like such a big deal for a week because and then if people don't know, if you're listening and you don't know, you're sort of your own director, whether you like it or not. So they have you watching a sketch and you're like, I'm watching the sketch rehearse. I don't know one fucking thing I'm supposed to do. They go, you direct it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're the director. You're in charge of the choreography, pretty much everything.
Yeah. You go meet music and then you go meet with the set design and you go say, they tell you what to design. Yeah.
Can I just say one thing about it, watching it today based on that is just, I didn't realize until watching it today how funny those songs were and so catchy. But you had us all in the costumes. I had a funny wig on.
It's always funny right there.
I'm saying I'm not a doo-doo. And we're all smiling and it really just made me laugh. And so that starts a sketch off with so much energy, like a band lip syncing with music, David's doing the drums.
Yes.
And then you guys come in, it's almost like West Side Story, throwing it down. And Nealon had this funny wig, it was his height, and you had all the Bradys there. What was Sandler's character in that? Because he had a
Adam Sandler was Peter Brady with the voice, and it's time to change. And he was so great. He was so. You guys everybody was great, but I have to say, coming from the Annoyance Theater in Chicago to Saturday Night Live, like the biggest difference I learned that week is that, guess what? Not a lot of rehearsal, like from the background that I had come from, we would, for a performance like that, we would rehearse for weeks and weeks and weeks. And it was just like, we blocked it. And then, Saturday you do the thing.
By the way, blocking doesn't even fucking count. Like when you're blocking it, you're just going, then there's tape on the floor and there goes, everyone's just like, it's a dead zone. Everyone's just meandering around eating potato chips. You're like, okay, there'll be a couch there. That's where tape is. Your drums will be over here. And everyone just staring off into space. You're like, okay, we got it. But that doesn't really count as getting it all, the smoothness.
That is that dead zone between Wednesday at the read through. Yeah, I guess you got it.
Everyone's
read
tired.
And it's gonna be on, right,
yeah,
Melanie? Okay,
exactly.
It's on.
Yeah,
and then
it's on.
You're probably getting notes to whatever trims or little things, and also you're going into producer mode. You know that he needs a wig, we need a guitar, and you have people helping you, but you're driving it.
Yeah.
And then, like to David's point, you run it Thursday with just kind of on a floor. And the first 2 times the crew kind of chuckles, and by like the 7th or 8th time of just running it, it just feels dead. And then Friday you do it again with a little more cameras,
maybe if you're lucky,
and no one's laughing, and it feels even more dead. And then by Saturday afternoon, it's all getting the costumes on and trying to do this rushed thing. And so by the time you get to the dress show, the practice show, full tilt,
yes,
you feel like this is we don't have any chance. And then finally you have a fresh audience.
Yes.
And yeah.
I always need one more day, one more rehearsal, because I've been on air going, I don't even know where I'm supposed to go. What's happening?
I don't even know my character.
I did see, not to jump away, but I saw one with us just now was Delta, 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 and with Woody Harrelson. And I walk into a scene with Woody and I literally drill a hole in the ground with my eyes to look for my mark. It was so unprofessional and embarrassing. That's all I saw. I go, what am I doing? Am I looking for my mark? And I hate when people do that in movies. They walk into a scene, look down, then look back up. I go, all right, you're on your mark. But I got scared because I said, oh my God, I just did it. It took me out.
I watched that one too this morning. I did a deep Melanie Hutzel dive, and I thought that was part of your character, kind of just looking down, like being kind of trying to be sort of seductive.
You
like
made
James
it work
Dean.
for the sketch, David.
Remember when I go, maybe we could get your books, get those exam notes, and I go, let's meet up later on. Seriously, me and you can maybe. I'm serious.
Yeah,
No, I remember that. That's so funny.
So
no, but
Melanie,
literally, go ahead.
I just want to finish off your what happened with you with.
No,
Brady
I was
Bunch
just
and Parks
listening to you run through like what happens in the process of all that, and I'm like starting to have a panic attack.
Oh yeah, sorry.
I don't know. Me along with Sarah Silverman and I think Jay Moore started having panic attacks during Saturday Night Live.
He does have panic attacks. That's right, and you should have been having them too.
Yeah,
everyone should have a panic attack if you literally get a handle on what you're doing, and and how under rehearsed you are, and then you've got all. That many people watching it. It's like
it's live theater on drugs.
It's more normal to have a panic attack. If you don't have one, something's wrong.
Yeah,
Jay
exactly.
Moore told me, he goes, Spade. I go, he came on. I didn't know him well, but I said, it is tricky. And maybe, the first couple read throughs, you're just getting your legs. And even if you have good sketches, sometimes, they don't always get on and it feels unfair. And he goes, I know the whole drill, dude. I've heard all the stories I got. I go, okay. I just had a tough time with it,
Yeah.
And then he goes, first thing, he had a sketch kind of high and read through, I think. And then it did pretty well. It was sort of like a toss up and it didn't get on. And he goes, that's okay. That's how it works here. And then 2 shows later, it happened again. And then the 3rd show, he goes, what the fuck is going on? That thing fucking killed. And I go, here we go. And then by the 4th one, he had a panic attack. And he goes, dude, I'm having panic attacks. I go, well, it's a little quicker than normal, but yes, that we all do. You're not feeling any different than anyone.
Well, what happens is you're on the show a lot on one Saturday. The next Saturday, you're not in it much. And then you have well-intended friends on the phone saying, they fucked you, man.
You're the funniest one.
I wanted to see more of you. I was not seeing enough of you. And it's just like, nothing that you're saying is helping.
One time Lauren brought me in, he goes, and I'm sure he's done this every cast member. He's sitting there opening his, lifesavers. He goes, David, everyone's going to tell you the funniest one in the show. You're not. and I go, the first half, I go, they are saying that. And then I go, oh.
He told me that story as well, but it was about you.
Dana, everyone's going to say
You set me up. David did. But I want it, Melanie, I want it just because that sketch killed so hard and you let it. How did you feel like? Did you like when you're on the air show and it's happening? Like from your point of view during the air, was it like, okay, this is in its own way peaking right now? Because that is a great feeling when you know it's gone well. How did you feel personally?
It's funny that you bring that particular sketch up because that was definitely like my favorite sketch that I did on Saturday Night Live. It was my favorite moments on the show. But at the same time, I couldn't feel my body. It was very surreal, very like out of body experience because, you know, it's like I'd been playing to a 99-seat theater in Chicago called the Annoyance Theater, which, you know, I was one of the co-founding members of that theater. And, you know, and you felt like a rock star because it was 100 people in this tiny little room. And then all of a sudden you're on national television.
You think it can't get any bigger, and then it gets 100 times bigger. But the other crazy thing is you go to the rap party and you're flying on cloud 10, and then the next day they're like, all right, Tom Hanks host, what do you got? And you're like, is it over already? Like, nobody gives
what
a
else
fuck.
you got?
Start over. What do you got? And he goes, Melanie, you didn't write anything. Why not? You go, fuck, I'm still riding my high from last week.
Melanie,
Absolutely.
Did you like, because you have an entrance in this sketch, are you behind the slat? Are you in character kind of like talking to yourself as Jan Brady? Oh my God. You know, are you like doing it and then you walk into the scene and try not to think too much? I mean, how do you do that? Because I'll sometimes try to like talk to myself under my breath during the commercial break, like, or something to think
to get into it
at SNL.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Or are you like Melanie and then I'll see you in a second and go out? Are you kind of like just trying to just be Jan Brady, or you just?
Oh no, I was definitely in character leading up to that sketch. To be honest with you, I can't remember if I had anything else to do in that show. It was possibly like the only thing, but this is like so random and weird. But so I had the Jan Brady wig, with the little ringlet curls in the front. That was my actual hair. And so me doing those curls myself was always a huge sort of crossover from Melanie Hutzel to Jan Brady. It's like the weirdest thing ever.
But also when you're waiting to go in, we've done that with sketches, or you're waiting to go in, you're trying to think of it, but it's almost better to be light on those weeks because you're watching the sketch and you're probably going, all right, is Spade, he's got a line. Okay, Dana's good. Okay, so far so good. You almost can't even think like, oh, fuck, I have to go walk into this actual sketch on TV in 1 second.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say this, I have to hand it to Adam Sandler that just there on the floor, like before sketches and sometimes after sketches, he would often go, "You're going to be awesome. You're going to be awesome.
You're going to be awesome, kid.
You got this, Hutzel. Like, don't worry about it. You're so funny. You're so funny." This is probably a terrible impersonation of Adam.
That was pretty good.
I don't do Adam. I do Adam's character. I will. You know, that guy. Adam,
Can I just tell a quick story about Adam? Just like for a quick minute.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Just take your time.
My husband, take your time. Well, it's such an insane thing. And I don't know if anybody has ever talked about this or if he's ever told this on himself.
Oh.
But
okay.
Little tidbit, little trivia about Adam Sandler was that I walked into the women's bathroom one time.
I like it already.
Okay.
And there was a dude in the bathroom.
I'm calling my attorney. Keep going.
Was he taking a dump?
Yes.
That's where he would hide?
That's where he would go. And I was like, because I could see his big old shoes, like his sweatpants. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, no. I was like, Adam? And he was like, hello?
Yes.
Hello? No, this is not Adam. And I was like, Adam, gross. Oh my God, what are you doing? It's just be 1 more minute. And so he did that. And then later I called him on it and he was like, it's cleaner. cleaner in the girls' bathroom.
Yeah, that's right.
Funny. I know
So
that.
crazy.
Yeah, I think Jeremy Irons did the same thing when he guest hosted. No, I'm making that up.
By the- Melanie, I have a question for you.
Hello,
and Dana.
I'm just using the loo here for a moment.
Yeah.
When
Sorry.
now that you're saying it, Susan Day hosting, it seems like I love Susan Day, but why Susan Day then? I can't remember. Was she in LA Law?
I think she was on LA Law at that time.
And she
Yeah.
was the reason Johnny Carson got mad at me because we did a Carson on that show.
Oh.
And Johnny, I didn't write this part, but apparently Johnny didn't know the Partridge Family was off the air. So I understand you're on the Partridge Family with David Cassidy. How was that show? You know, and she'd already 15 years ago. So Johnny
You're
didn't like
so
that sketch.
uncool. That
Don't
was so
blame him.
uncool.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Anyway,
That's
it all
the-
goes full circle.
Absolutely. And I was going to say, it's such an interesting thing about impersonations. It's such a fine line of like, it can be the greatest thing in the world, or you can really hurt somebody's feelings.
I know. And I was not aware of it then. I'm more aware of it now. Like I might hurt that person
Well,
if
you're
I
just
did
doing
it
it
on
to be
Fallon or
funny,
something.
even if you really like the person. Like Dana loves Paul McCartney, Dana loves all these people, and he does them, and you don't know there's a part because you have to exaggerate an impression, and there's a part of the person that probably gets their feelings hurt, but you think, oh, isn't it cool I do you? Because you're really getting all the benefit, and the person just
Right.
looks like an asshole. So
Well,
no, totally. I
Johnny
know-
liked
yeah.
it, but he liked the impression. But that particular one, it tweaked him a little bit.
And that must have felt absolutely like crazy to have Johnny Carson be upset with you.
You know what, Melanie?
like now that I really think about that, I'm like, I cannot even imagine.
And I want to hear your stories too, because that's SNL, either running into a host or whatever, just these surreal moments upon moments upon moments. And that would be one of them. Like, really? No.
Well,
Me?
I mean, you know,
just surreal.
so, yeah, absolutely. And, you know, because of my age at the time, I was playing like pretty much any and every young
Kids.
teenage
Yeah.
girl that was on television at the time, one of them being Tori Spelling. Now,
That's right.
and then after I had done SNL, I think for a year, we were doing the Real Life Brady Bunch here in Los Angeles at the Westwood Playhouse. And she came to see the show. And like backstage, everybody was like, Tori Spelling is here. She's here. Oh my God.
Millions of
Exactly.
dollars worth.
And she came up to me after the show and she was like, I love you. I think you're really funny. Like, don't even worry about it, you know? Yeah. So that was good. And then another particular scenario that I still am haunted by was impersonating Mayim Bialik, because
Okay.
it was just, there were some things about that, namely a prosthetic nose.
Oh yeah.
Which was so offensive.
Fuck. We didn't
On
think twice about
so
that
many-
back then. You just wanted to get a big laugh, and then you just are like, oh, that's so funny, it works. Then you rarely think, oh, this person. When I did that one with Owen Wilson's nose looking like a dick, and then they said you have to change it between dress and hair. It's exactly a dick. And prosthetics was like, okay. And then I was in something else, and we had to go deal with this other fire we had to put out. And I was walking into the sketch going, oh my God, we never fixed this before air. So it's like 15 seconds. I go, what can I do? So I just go out there and do it. And I don't know. I think Owen wasn't in love with that impression anyway, because it was like, it was thrown to me. It wasn't one of the ones I do. It's just like, you play him, you do this. I was hosting.
I got to know him a little bit through Kevin Nealon before the pandemic, and a really nice guy. And I asked him about people doing impressions, and he has such an interesting cadence. It's such a, and I said, well, what do you think of people doing it? And he's like, well, I really prefer that they wouldn't, And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't really do him if he's listening now, Owen.
Well,
we'd like to have him on the show
but
hosting
he's
the
such
show.
But
That's to your example. I just know him now, so I wouldn't want to hurt him. The thing right now is just how to do Joe Biden, because if you do it a little too heavy-handed, are you making fun of an elder citizen, or that one's a little tricky.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
And one more thing I'll say about Mayim is that I I did sort of hear through the grapevine that, of course, she was a teenager at the time.
Even worse.
Must
So
have
that-
been.
Very different.
Yeah.
And I heard that, she really got her feelings hurt. And years and years and years went by. And I'm going to tell the short version of this.
Take your time. I love these stories.
We have to kill
Yeah.
8.5 hours.
No, I really was haunted by it. And I felt terrible. And my husband is Jewish, but we were just dating at the time. And we went to a synagogue in Westwood, and I saw her, and like my heart started pounding, and I was like, I got to talk to her. I got to talk to her. And then by the time I got to her, she was already gone. And I was like, oh, dang. And then like another couple of years go by, and I actually see her at an audition. And we were auditioning for the same role. And I can't even remember what that was, but we were sitting on a couch together. And like she hadn't looked up from her script, like she's like studying her lines or whatever. My heart's pounding. I know. And then finally I was like, Mayim. And she was like, yeah. And she goes, oh, hi. And I was like, hey, I just want to say something to you. And I said, I did an impersonation of you on Saturday Night Live. I was not happy about certain things. And I just want to apologize to you and say that I'm sorry. Like I had tears in my eyes, and she looked at me and she was like, I release you.
Really? Oh,
that's cool. That's funny.
I know. She was like, I release you. And then she was like, I'm not going to say that I didn't feel that back then. She said, but we can let this go. And it was just like so nice. And
that's almost like a Star Wars thing. I wish Johnny had said that to me. I release you. I absolve you.
What? Who were you running with then? Were you with Beth Cahill and Siobhan? Was that sort of your squad?
Siobhan Fallon, Beth Cahill.
Betty Cahill. She likes to be called Betty now.
Betty Cahill. Hey.
Betty Cahill, really?
Betty.
BC.
Yeah, Betty Cahill was
Julia
definitely.
Sweeney was in there. Yeah.
Julia Sweeney, Beth Cahill, Siobhan Fallon. Yeah, those were my crew.
Ellen Cleghorn.
Ellen Cleghorn. I loved Ellen. I love Ellen now.
When you met Lorne, this is kind of a funny question. Maybe it's got no good answer, but how long did you wait to meet him?
So when I was working at the Annoyance Theater, we were doing the Real Life Brady Bunch, and we were also doing a show called the Miss Vagina Pageant, which was obviously, we were making fun of beauty pageants and the objectification of women. And
is that what they do?
I'm sorry, what?
Is that what those do in those beauty pageants? I guess they do. I've never really thought of it that way. Yeah,
just a little bit, David. But anyway, we had created this hilarious show. It was all women and so much fun. And that's when I sort of developed the sorority character and played Miss Tennessee. And so, SNL scouts were coming through Chicago, and, they always go to the typical places. They go to Improv Olympic, they go to Second City. But there was an ad in the paper for the show called the Miss Vagina Pageant. And they were like, oh, a comedy with all women. Let's go see this.
Wow, that's cool. They did a deep dive.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like Kismet or something's going on here. Magic Dust. Yeah.
And so Beth Cahill was in that show. Kate Flannery was in that show. Susan Messing, just so many people. Oh. And so over a period of time, like every week for a while, there was a different SNL scout coming to see the Real Life Brady Bunch and the Miss Vagina Pageant. And so then the next thing we know, and we're just this tiny theater, our artistic director, Mick Napier, was just all about the work. And,
do you know someone's there?
We knew that there were scouts. Yeah, we knew that there were scouts. And so anyway, like this one week.
I'm getting nervous just hearing
I'm
this.
nervous
What
and
happened?
sick.
Go ahead, sorry.
So this one week, Mick gets a call, and we find out that Lorne Michaels wants to come see the Miss Vagina Pageant.
Man himself.
But he can only come see it on a Wednesday night at midnight.
I was about to say
Oh.
Wednesday at 9 a.m. You're like, oh.
and he would be bringing his friend Quincy Jones.
Wow.
Perfect.
Which
He
is-
brought Cher when I auditioned. He always brings the biggest celebrity, see how she deals with the pressure.
Exactly. And so,
Wow.
you know, there was like all this weird talk of like, you know, people just felt weird about putting on the show at midnight. Like, I don't know.
No, it
Like, it was-
sucks. It's too late. Man.
It was just a strange feeling. And then finally, like, it's like, oh no, we're doing it. we're going to do the midnight show for Lauren.
Yeah.
And so we got that together. We invited every friend and friend of a friend of a friend to come to this
okay.
midnight show. And he was there. He was there in the front row with Quincy Jones watching this, you know, crazy show with all these women. And then from there, we found out that 4 of us would be going to lunch with Lauren and Mike Shoemaker the next day.
Mike Shoemaker.
Mike Shroomtaker.
Now a producer on Seth Meyers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then 3 out of the 4 were flown to New York.
Oh, after the lunch, one fell out.
After the lunch.
Oh,
Someone fell out
gross.
over the
Who
lunch?
ordered too many crab cakes? Oh,
Yes.
what a drag.
And also,
She didn't use a napkin. Sorry, go ahead.
Wrong fork.
so I remember after the lunch finding out that Lauren wanted to talk to me and have a conversation. And
Mhm.
so we literally walked along Lake Michigan together. And I remember one of the first questions he asked me was, what do your parents do? He asked me what my mom and dad did.
Yeah,
and I was
that's
like,
very Lauren.
I know. And
Yeah.
there was something kind of sweet about it, you know? And I was like, well, my dad works at Alcoa Aluminum Company and my mom is a hairdresser. And I was just like, and then I was like, I just want to say right now, I want this more than anything. And if I were to get this job, I would work harder. I mean, I was just like, blah, blah,
You
blah. Like,
literally
I was
said
just-
that.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I don't think
Yeah.
anyone says that. That's a good thing to say.
I've never heard of anyone saying that, thinking it, but
That's
and
good.
It really,
That's good
but
you said it. It shows you.
Probably it came off so genuine.
It just
that
kind
he-
of came out. It just kind
But
of,
that's like out of a movie. That's like Norma Ray or something. If I get this job, I'll work harder. I mean, can you remember exactly what you said? Like the phrasing? I'll do Lauren.
Yeah.
So what do you think about this show? I mean, do you think you might want to be part of it?
Are you okay with being famous?
if Lauren, if you were to give me this job, I want, just please understand, I want this more than anything in the world. And I know you've probably heard that a lot from a lot of other people, but I'll work harder than I've ever worked in my whole life. And you won't regret it. Like, it's
Okay,
just
then
kind
long pause, and then Lauren says, "Right, we're gonna go get some mini tacos at the Four Seasons
It's
bar
always
if
a
you wanna
walk,
come."
Dana. Lauren goes, come by the BH Hotel, maybe take a walk. I go, okay. And I walk, and he goes, this way. And we're walking. And now it starts getting dark. I go, are we fucking lost? He walks so far. I'm like, Lauren, I don't even know if we're in BH anymore. And he's like, this
That
way,
is
take
just-
a right.
Yeah, he has the 10,000 step thing going. I was at the Beverly Hills Hotel with him like maybe a couple years ago. And I'm driving off and he goes, I go, where are you going? He's just walking. Well, I haven't gotten my 10,000 steps.
Oh.
But Lauren is a
I am
touchstone
like that too.
for all of us as well. The most eccentric, brilliant, like there's only one Lauren Michaels. That's why everyone does an impression. Do you have any kind of little bit of impression at all, Melanie?
my impression is of your impression. like it's just very, you know, like
once you break the code, it's just there's a lot of little different ways to do it. Some people
Yeah.
do it very, very shy, you know.
yeah.
Others are like it's really like fucking good. You know, he has these different rhythms, but
You
your
know,
relationship
I did meet
with
with him every once in a while, like you know,
in his
to talk
office.
in his office.
Just you two? Okay.
Yeah, just the two of us. I often had it in my heart to talk to him about, you know, maybe the women needed a little more airtime type situation, which was
Mhm.
when I really look back on that, like it was, you know, I had a lot of guts. I
You
guess.
are Norma Ray.
You're so
You're like,
honest.
Lauren, I don't know if you know this,
I
but
mean,
we're unionizing the women on the show. What?
I talked to Lauren about that because and we talked to Anna Gasteyer about it, and she said that it just sort of was reflecting societal changes in that from the knots forward, there was just more women were getting more airtime and doing more stuff. And now eventually the women are playing men like Ted Cruz and stuff. So you were definitely in that pre-era of when it was harder.
It was
more
definitely
of a boys club.
A subject that was brought up a lot. I remember that. I remember even we did Gap Girls. There was I think Julia was a little sideways about now they're playing girls when we don't have enough parts. And it was like, oof, I get what she's saying. I mean, I get it all. It was, and it's such a tough place because it's every man for himself and everybody wants to be on.
Every woman.
And if it's not treated fairly, there's almost so much you can do. There's only so much you can do, and it's all up to everybody above us. And it's hard to have a heart to heart with Lauren, and it's hard to go to Lauren and say a complaint in quotes or a fix or something you'd love to discuss that's a legitimate problem, and it takes balls to even.
But man or woman, he definitely likes sketches where a lot of people were active. And that's why I just fell into church chat accidentally, but then I had Jan Hooks doing Tammy Faye Baker.
Yes.
And you love to always have Jan in a sketch because she scores, revered.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like chemistry between two people is that's golden on a live TV show, but it can't be forced. It has to come organically, and anyways, I don't know where I was going.
Who did you connect with the most on the show? Did you and Beth? Beth was there one year, but did you have people that you were kind of like sort of buddies with on the show that you would hang out with the most? And
well, I think that was the thing. I mean, I look back on you and Jan Hooks and David, you and Chris Farley and you and all the other guys. You guys had like this chemistry. And so, yes, to answer your question, the people that I had chemistry with were Siobhan and Betty Cahill. Ellen Cleghorn and I tried. We tried for years
to get a thing, right?
To get a thing going. And it's one of our biggest regrets, or I should speak for myself. It's one of my biggest regrets is that never happened. But it wasn't that we didn't try. And so, that's what was interesting about my time on the show was that after that first year, I didn't have Beth and Siobhan anymore. And they had left. And so then you're kind of looking to other people, Julia Sweeney and some of the guys.
Where do I fit in?
Yeah. Where do I fit in? Because there was the older set, Dana. Sorry.
No, you're right. No, we were the veterans. And then I call them the junior varsity, but the new people came in for the first time where you had a cast and then another cast, like, another team ready to go. Because Lauren didn't want a cast to leave en masse. So he wanted trainees, so to speak. So that was a very intense time to be on Saturday Night Live, I think, in the early 90s because of all that.
I was shadowing Dana like someone at Arby's or something. I was like, I go behind Dana and just watch what he does and go, okay, when you do it, you got to go like this. You go out there and kill. And I'm like, God.
When Lauren wanted to mess with me, David's ready anytime. Because David would sit behind me and read through, you know.
No, I mean, you're right. It was an interesting time. And, I always sort of looked to the older, all of you guys, you, Dana, and of course, Phil and Kevin Nealon, sort of as like this anchor for the show. You guys were settled and had been around.
Well, we had 100 shows under our belt, which is such a hard show to get relaxed to do,
Dana, I was watching you on Saturday Night Live when I was in high school.
And then you're there.
And in college, like, we did a show at the University of Tennessee called All Night Theater. And my friend Mark Rowe, I played Tammy Faye Baker. He played Jim Baker at like 3:00 in the morning, and so we were copying you and Jan, which is
that's what the way I would have thought is like Jan, Tammy Faye Baker has a sister that she never met, and then you have dueling Tammy Faye's sketch. Stuff like that.
I rebuke you.
Do you remember a dumb sketch where I don't know why I remember this, because it was famous people who sing with their dead relatives, and you were Tammy Wynette, I think.
Yeah.
And they go, I am not dead. And you go, I'm actually not dead. And I go, that's how rumors get started.
This is how rumors get started.
Yeah, exactly. I remember it because I think Natalie Cole came out with Nat King Cole.
Oh, yes.
And so we did a whole thing of...
and Chris Farley, who did Chris Farley play? Oh my God. It was so funny.
Anyway,
I
that one just stuck out my head because I thought, is there any impression you didn't ever get to do that you wish you got to do? Or is there something that came up years later where you're like, oh, I'd love
or character?
That's
a good question.
A French chef, an Italian
Dana,
waitress.
You could probably do every president since, and that would have been fun. Yeah, go ahead.
I always wanted to do. I had all these like Southern characters that I wanted to do that I would bring to the
Paula
to the
Deen.
tape read. Paula Deen. Paula Deen.
Yes.
Just yet, but I remember there was the sketch. I don't remember that much about it, but Steve Corn and I had written it together.
Great writer.
And it was just called The Country Christmas Show. And I remember that Glenn Close was going to be in it with me.
Ooh,
possibly.
Glenn Close, yeah.
And I remember the song. And this is how it went.
Oh, great.
Ready? This is how the beginning song went. Welcome, 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 welcome to my country Christmas show. Hi, I'm Jenny Jean Hutzel. Like I literally
Jenny Jean tight jeans.
Welcome,
and I just made that up.
It's already catchy. Welcome, 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 welcome.
Welcome. So yes, I remember the song. That's all I remember.
We talked to Tom Hanks, and he remembered the whole Subway Surfing song of a sketch we did that I was in, and I helped him write, and I did not remember one line from it.
And it got cut, right?
It got cut, and he sang the whole song.
He sang the whole song. Just had some photographic
remember
memory
that, Dana? I was like, holy shit.
that was weird.
Isn't it so crazy, like what you remember and what you don't remember, and then what other people like will point out to you? Like it kind of makes me worry about my brain a little bit every once in a while. But I do have a memory about Tom. I remember
Hanks
when Tom Hanks was on the show, and all of this was so, obviously surreal and weird, like talking to these famous people.
Yes, for all of us. Yeah.
For all of us. And I remember it was just like, that those weird hours on Tuesday night when everybody's writing their sketches and all stressed out. And he's just kind of like walking from office to office, just having fun, figuring out what everybody's going to be doing. And he was just like, he looked at me and he was just like, man, he goes, you're set. You're all set. He goes, you're going to do your sorority girl movie.
I love it.
It's going to be awesome. And, like you've got your career. And
he had just come from Adam Sandler's office. So they just had this thing of supporting Melanie, helping.
I know. And I thought that was so nice of him to say it never happened. But
well, he wanted to be a cast member. He's the least pretentious. I don't know what you would call him. Superstar. I don't know what you could call him today. I don't know, megastar. But he just has no pretense about it.
No pretense. And somebody else that was like that was John Goodman.
Oh yeah,
I love. He did the show a couple of times within the 3 years that I was there. And I remember the second time he came around, like he asked me, how's Claudia and Steve doing? That's my mom and dad. And I was like, he remembers my parents' names. Like, that's so nice.
That's next level. The talent to cold read 50 scripts essentially on Wednesday as a host. And certain ones really stood out. I mean, John Goodman would make in the moment changes, or, you get just a bare note, but he was a brilliant cold reader. So was Danny DeVito, Hanks. Yeah.
So was Alec Baldwin. Fantastic.
Alec Baldwin, which maybe you'll relate to this. I think I've said this before, but Victoria Jackson because he would host occasionally, and she goes, not going to happen this week. I go, what? I'm not going to fall in love with him. I'm not going to fall in love with him. Okay. And then by Friday, she'd go, fell in love with him.
Oh, yeah.
His
Me
eyes,
too.
she said she couldn't look at his eyes because they were so blue. Once I saw them, I was in love.
No. Oh, that is okay. Yep. I'll speak to that. He did. Mm-hmm. Alec Baldwin came into my office and I couldn't talk. Like he is, I literally couldn't. I felt like he was so good looking and so famous. And
that was like when Sharon Stone was there and all the guys were freaking out. And Sharon Stone comes in her slinky dress, comes into your office. Hi, so sweet. Everyone's like, God damn, no one this pretty and famous will ever be in my little room again. And her offices, if people don't know, are so tiny and gross. They're just like a gross couch that's been there since Tim Kazurinsky, and everyone is like sitting on the same couch year after year after year. And they're like, hey, and they come in there. And some people just beam like superstar, you know, and you're like, holy shit. And they're always nice.
I did a movie with Anthony Hopkins once and just meeting him in this little room in this haunted hotel with Alan Parker. And he was so intense in that voice. It's like, put a camera on this fucking Jesus. But I remember Lorne Michaels, speaking of beauty, Paulina Poroskova came in on my first show just to hang out, I guess. And she was sitting in the read-through, and she kind of looked like she had a mask on, you know, and it was fun to ask her, what is it like to be you? That's nice, you know. But I remember Lauren saying, you can't marry a face.
Oh.
Eventually, there's like that thing you get used to the face, and then you need another face. But yeah, those people that are so charismatic, put a fucking camera on them. I mean, I just feel like there's nothing to me. I'm like paper. I just need a wig or an accent or something. I'm like the Invisible Man. David has a great voice. He doesn't think I think he does, but
I think you said it twice, so now I believe you. But
you have a voice. Fred Wolf and I talked about that. You have a cool voice, like an interesting voice.
You do have a cool and interesting voice, and I think that you know, it kind. I mean, when you said that, it kind of makes me think about like the stand-ups, you know, the cast was comprised of the stand-ups and then you have the people with the improv background, right? Yes. And David, you did, you know, stand-up, I don't know how long leading up to Saturday Night Live, and then you come on. You'd been out there for a little
several years. Yep.
Several years, and then you have to do characters, right? And then Dana, you were so amazing at characters and also did stand up. So I think, I don't know, it's something that I've thought about a lot of just like, I feel like a lot of times people who were stand-ups that came to the show had a better ability to sort of like protect themselves and look after themselves, you know, to whereas people from an improv background, it's like, we're all in this together. And I'm not saying that stand-ups aren't like team players.
Well, look, okay, finish your thought, but I have a thought about that. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's like, if somebody were watching me on the show, there's no way that they had any idea who I was as a person because I was always doing a character.
Yeah.
And David, when you would go on News Update or whatever, we could see David Spade. We could see who you were.
I mean, I learned, that's why I never thought I'd be on the show because quickly, Dana, I just was thinking, I barely was doing stand-up and writing stand-up and trying to get good at that. I was in the middle. I wasn't even a headliner. So to go on the show, it's a whole new muscle to learn. I wish I could have taken a year of classes of improv to go, here's how you do it with these people, and here's how you write sketches and get immersed in characters. I think I just resigned myself. I wasn't going to be as good as Dana and all these guys and Phil. So I said, I like the Bill Murray type. Not in any way am I as good as Bill Murray, but he was always a little bit of Bill Murray in his sketches. And I said, I think that's the best I can hope for. I'm sort of a version myself. And when I had Hollywood Minute, Lauren was like, do that more. Like, I think he knew I wasn't going to be doing crazy characters. He finally said, just be a version of yourself, and that will be easier life for you.
So my only thing to add to this is that when you're coming up through stand-up, the dog-eat-dog world and the survival mechanism of stand-up, the Friday night late show where the middle act is trying to knock you off your pedestal and you got to do an hour to drunk people. It's an emotionally violent sport. SNL is in a different way. So you're coming from that thing that I must kill every time, all the time. And there's good and bad that comes with that. It took me, by the time I was doing Carson, I was relaxed. I wasn't pushing. But my standard in my head of the amount of laughs I should get was like that of a stand-up. But I didn't realize till later, doing stand-up in small clubs recently with my sons, that I was a sketch player the whole time. There was just no groundlings in San Francisco. All my bits were character-driven, which was kind of hard to land, but it's good in a small room. But I do feel like the stand-ups have a dog-eat-dog sort of survival instinct of to kill. And then we learn to be sketch players and play well with others. You know, you don't ever, when you're out there with your friend, you want to play fair, not undercut or overlap. And, you know, with Hans and Franz, you know, I had my friend there with Mike and I in Wayne's World, with Phil and I at Carson, Sandler and I doing the Pepper Boy when I hosted. So there was such a high for me of getting used to the idea of being in something where someone else is supporting me, or when Jan Hooks would do her thing. And really loving that, you know. But when you're a lone gunslinger, you're like, I gotta kill, and I gotta be funnier than the other guy. So that's all I had to add.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, you know, when you're by yourself, you don't have anybody else to blame for not getting the laughs or whatever. And so, yeah. And the other thing about the stand-ups is, like, once you're off the show, you have that to go back to right away. And make money, right?
Yes.
And you go right back into your craft. And so for me, after I came off of SNL, I went back to improv theater, and that doesn't pay the bills.
That's not, it's a different check. Yeah.
It's a different thing, but I did do that when I moved out to Los Angeles.
Of course. I mean, that's what you're good at, and that's what got you where you were. It's like, you got to stay out there, and that's a good way to constantly be in front of people.
Absolutely. And I miss it like crazy right now. And I'm hoping to get back into the theater and do some stuff.
Killed that. You know, no one thought there would be anything negative about COVID, but there is a couple things.
Yeah. No, I know.
Everyone thought it was going to be so great, and it wasn't.
No, I know. Everybody thought it was going to be so great.
Melanie, I don't know if, Dan, do you have anything else to add? This is very interesting conversation. Thank you for having it with us.
Yeah, I mean, this is illuminating. You know, I love hearing how people navigated that and how honest you were with Lauren in two ways. And I would say that you were powerful as a performer when you chose to be. I mean, you had a lot of commitment and strength, and that room is kind of a rock and roll room because all the ambient noise and stuff. So you do have to, like, you know, project, and you had a lot of power, and you were so funny, and it was so very interesting just hearing your journey through that landmine.
Wow. Well, thank you for saying that, and thank you both for having me on your new podcast. It means a lot to me, and it's so great to see both of you, and you both meant different things to me at the time when we were kind of like all going through it together. And I mean,
you're exactly the way I remembered you, as so genuine.
She looks exactly the same, maybe 1 year younger.
First of all, I just wanted to say there's a Dorian Gray thing going on here with Melanie, but that's okay. The time machine worked perfect. I don't know how you're staying. It's so
that's
youthful.
Very nice.
But you came out very genuine then. I mean, I was in my own kind of surreal world doing Ross Perot and all these things, but I do remember how just genuine and real you were as a person, and there you are. So, such a pleasure.
That is so nice. It's a pleasure to see you guys. And, you know, I miss it. You know, it's like once you do Saturday Night Live, how do you follow that? You know, it's just kind of like it's in your being and your spirit. And it's like the one thing that everybody in the world wants to talk to you about. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, you know, when I think about live TV, you know, there's nothing in the world, not even not even childbirth, honestly, that will bring you to the present moment in such a way that is so powerful. And it's just, the three of us we are three of 156 people in the world that were on that show. I didn't know that statistic on my own. I was listening to Bobby Moynihan was talking to Mayim Bialik on her podcast,
and he said that. That's interesting.
He said, well, he actually said, how many of us are there? Like 150? Like, I don't know. And then my husband, Fred looks it up. Yeah. And so it's like 156 people.
Wow, he was a good guess.
So it's just crazy to really think about that. And
wow.
It's something that I look back on fondly. There were hard things about it. There were awesome things about it. It was a dream come true. And I don't know. That's all I really have to say about it. But overall positive.
You get wisdom as you go on, and you substitute any kind of bitterness or regret with gratitude. How lucky was I to get on that silly show? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. I agree with your assessment.
But I enjoy when I go back there sometimes and do a guest spot. It's never the same because you kind of see, but it is a one-off experience. So that's hence our little podcast, which is fun to hear the human side of this, to the effect on people's lives. But anyway, you've been awesome. We don't know how to wrap things up because we're not professional.
It's hard to know how to wrap things up.
It's all right. We did a good job.
Yeah, we did. It's so great to see you both.
You too, hon.
Be well. I hope we run into each other in LA.
I would love it.
Club or some little theater.
Sure, why not? Sounds good.
Oh my God, it's Melanie.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
This has been a podcast presentation of Cadence 13. Please listen, then rate, review, and follow all episodes. Available now for free wherever you get your podcast.
No joke, folks. Fly on the Wall has been a presentation of Cadence 13. Executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Chris Corcoran of Cadence 13, and Charlie Finan of Brillstein Entertainment.
The show's lead producer is Greg Holtzman with production and engineering support from Serena Regan and Chris Basil of Cadence 13.